from 9th and Christian Street, and the next city councilman from the 1st District, Vern Anastasio.
I've got good news tonight. That's why I'm here. I'm here to give you the good news. The good news is there is a new era about to happen here in Philadelphia. And it's not because I want that new era to happen. It's not because we're here. The new era is about to happen because it's inevitable. Because every once in a while, hope and history meet, and something big happens. It's happened before. A little bit more than 50 years ago, the city of Philadelphia, believe it or not, had a really high crime rate, weren't creating jobs, and was stuck in a culture of corruption. A little over 50 years ago. And these two guys, Richardson Dilworth and Joe Clark, decided that they were going to stand up to the powers that be, and they were going to fight for reform. And they won. They ushered in an era of democratic reforms that they had not seen in a generation. Several years later, exactly 1991, Philadelphia faced another crisis, an economic crisis where they couldn't pay its bills. It was a crisis that actually led me to leave Philadelphia for a while. We couldn't find jobs. People were graduating college and couldn't find work. Streets were filthy, crime was up, the economy was in the toilet. And then a guy came along, his name was Ed Rendell, and without the support of the Democratic Party machine, he and 7 other Democrats who were running for city council without the Democratic Party machine won and changed the 90s and changed Philadelphia. And now, just about 17 years later, we find ourselves in another crisis. It's more than a crisis of economics, even though we're not creating jobs. It's more than a crisis of not being able to manage any growth. It's more than a crisis of opportunity. It's a crisis of confidence. You know, when we knock on doors today and we go to events, people no longer feel as confident as they once did under the Rendell years. They're worried about where the city of Philadelphia is going. And honestly, the government that we face, reformers like myself, Jesse Brown, who's in the House tonight, and other reform candidates, is not unlike the government that Richardson Dilworth and Joe Clark faced 52 years ago. It is stuck in the mud of days gone by. And we're saying it's time for a new direction. Most people are saying it's time for a new direction. The only people who are not saying it's time for a new direction are the people whose bank accounts and refrigerators seem to be full because of the status quo. But I got good news for you. We outnumber those people. Yes. And on election day, we're going to bring the spring of honest change. I know it.